Hey, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. It's Steve with Real Progressives. Social media has become just a complete and utter, just a cesspool of stupid, right? Just a cesspool of absolute stupidity. Every friggin' post that goes across social media makes me just want to friggin' close my account. Makes me just want to pretend like, it's like, why bother? Why bother fighting? Because the reality is that when you look at people and you see that they're more attracted to a fairy tale, they're more attracted to a lie, and you realize that your children and your family are going to fucking be left hanging because of these disgusting, horrible, wicked, stupid, fucking loser people that would rather talk about the Rothschilds and talk about Bitcoin and talk about stupid shit that you can't fucking do a goddamn thing about. Okay? When you realize that people would rather eat a fairy tale than actually learn how to successfully make the country better. What do you got? When you see groups like Anonymous or any of these other conspiracy peddlers out there throw up a meme that gets 47,000 likes, and you realize that people genuinely just don't give a shit. I watched earlier some asshole put up a meme about how the same people that went after Lincoln, that went after JFK, that went after whatever, are still coming after us today. The same dark, evil Jews, basically. And, this isn't just on our page, by the way. This is all over. I literally went through, I was so upset and angry that people that I knew, it's one thing if I've not talked to them or they haven't heard or they haven't been exposed, but people that liked this post, for example, I literally sat there and deleted every fucking one of them from my friends list, blocked them, and fucking sat there in disgust and said, why the fuck am I doing this? Why the fuck are we doing this? Rohan Gray was at the Democracy Convention today in the belly of the beast, full of people who are conspiracy theorists. Full of people that are conspiracy theorists. And he was very professional, very sharp, but he made a comment. He made a comment that was really very important. And he said point blank, he says, it's tough to sell vegetables when the other guy is selling candy. And you think about that, and it's like, so the truth isn't sexy enough for these people. And they would rather sit there and watch alternative media, which has become, in my mind, 1,000 times worse than the mainstream media even. I mean, our alternative media has become so sensational, so fucking sensational, that it is unwatchable. It is unwatchable. I don't do this for entertainment. I don't require entertainment like this. I can read a book. I can listen to music. I can do whatever I want to do. I don't need to listen to some conspiracy bullshit for entertainment. Does nothing for me other than piss me off. But you get 67,000 people liking some bullshit from Anonymous about the banking system, which they don't even fucking understand. And then you see burners, fucking Bernie Sanders people talking about the Rothschilds constantly. And I have gotten to the point now where I say, if you cannot break down the functions of the Federal Reserve right now, right fucking now, if you can't tell me every fucking step along the way exactly what the fuck it is, if you can't tell me what it is, why in God's name do you feel like you have a right to an opinion even? And again, the bottom line is that the Federal Reserve is a very boring institution. It's a very boring institution. There isn't anything sexy about being the scorekeeper. But they gotta make it something because their lives are so utterly devoid of value that they've got to come up with something to provide value. So they come up using these conspiracies to provide meaning to their life. And all it does is sidetrack people. It just sidelines the entire fucking movement. And I see these people that spend their entire existence talking about unsubstantiated, unverifiable, dumb fucking stupid shit. You know, it used to be that we would berate the mainstream media or berate people for not using quality sources, for not fact-checking their shit that they put out there. And instead, we've got an alternative media that spends almost all its time playing conspiracy games and sidelining the movement. You know, I know most of the people that follow me give a fuck about their kids and give a fuck about their families and care about their kids and care about the planet and care about making something more meaningful happen in this country. But goddamn, our movement is full of idiots. And they pat themselves on the back calling each other truth tellers. I mean, how is it that we allow unverifiable, unsubstantiated bullshit to pass as our Bible of news? How is it that we allow this shit to go down? You know, it's beyond me. We posted an article from this publication called Renegade Inc. And Renegade Inc. is a friend of our program. But they had a guest post, and what they did was they talked about Venezuela. And the reason why that article was posted was because it talked about monetary sovereignty. And it explained the fact that Venezuela's economy is entirely tied, 95% of it is tied to the export of oil. Oil, the thing that destroys the planet. 95% of their entire economy is based on oil production and exporting. And when you talk about things going boom, when you talk about things going like just, wow, okay, I get it now. We've got a situation where we know for a fact that the U.S. government, the CIA, has always done covert ops, has always fucked with other countries, has always done a whole bunch of things. But the reality is when you base your entire economy on the export of a commodity that can be fucked with, you are running the risk of destroying your entire fucking country. And so we posted this article, not because we were sitting there bashing a socialist. Fucking stupid people. God damn stupid people. We posted it because of the economic understanding of the message that was in it. And then the slow kids on the short bus, these fucking dipshits, come out of the fucking woodwork chirping because it didn't match with their conspiracy theory. And we were only talking about the econ part of this. But these fucking idiots, goddamn idiots, just pounce on stupid shit because this is what our movement on social media anyway has devolved into. When you sit there and you have fucking experts break the shit down, you will get more likes from some dipshit named Arn, or Artie, not Arn, sorry Arn, like Artie or Billy or Joey or something else from the local pub who talks about the Rothschilds than you will from the fucking truth. You know, I was sitting there, I couldn't understand why I was so upset all day. You know, I was so upset all day. Forgive my cough, I'm a little under the weather. But I was so upset. I see so many of my friends go into these alternative media sources that peddle myths, legends, conspiracies, and bullshit. And then we spend all day long disabusing the moronic, dumb, fucking sidelining nonsense that takes us out of the game. It's like, it's almost like the left is trying to make themselves so incompetent, so irrelevant, that people have to go back to the duopoly. How horrible is that? And then the next step, unfortunately, is you check out. You just stop doing it anymore. You stop caring, you stop paying attention, and you go back to sleep. I'm so upset. You want a new deal. You want to save the environment. You want to change the way we talk about things. The debt ceiling is coming up. The talk will be about a bunch of bullshit. And I saw somebody who actually is a writer for Real Progressives, who sat there and posted a fucking article about where their hard-earned tax dollars are going, and started coming up with ways to get revenue. And it's like, you know, in about 5 minutes, what's going to happen, unfortunately, is we're going to be back to every other post is going to be about some candidate we're supposed to support. They're not going to be talking about issues anymore. Except for the Rothschilds, of course. But they're going to be telling you about the next silver-tongued progressive candidate that is ignorant as fuck and goes along with the bullshit, and we get nowhere once again. It's coming, folks. It's coming, and it's going to come like a tsunami. It's going to come like a fucking tsunami any minute now. And you realize after a little bit that if we can't sell basic people to fight for their own best interests, we don't stand a prayer in hell. Yeah, I saw a guy's taking a leak in the woods behind me. But I realized that the truth tellers in our movement are obsessed with conspiracies. Obsessed. And sadly, I think that many in our movement are obsessed with that same fucking bullshit. So ultimately, because people won't bother to learn and realize that the only way the power comes to the people, mind you, listen, as long as we're ignorant people and we stay ignorant and we stay blissfully ignorant and we continue to stay stuck, you can pretty much guarantee that it doesn't matter who pulls the strings, because we are a bunch of fucking dumbasses. We are filled with stupid people leading other stupid people to stupid things, to chase stupid fairy tales. I'm not here to judge the whole DNC lawsuit. That's very important shit right there. But when it comes to the Rothschilds, and when it comes to all the other bullshit, Illuminati, the Bilderbergs, all the other nonsense, I left the Ron Paul camp years ago because I wanted to lead a life that was actually useful, not worthless. And I realized that the Ron Paul crowd has infiltrated the progressive movement. And people think it's harmless, but they don't realize that you and I will have nothing to show for it, because they will sideline us into 1,000 forms of idiocy. And we're screwed. Every which way you look. Exactly. You've got Kamala Harris and Cory Hooker and all the other bullshitters over there. Over here, you've got all these crackpots and fucking pasty white people sitting around with their freaking Birkenstocks at the fucking whatever, sitting there waxing poetic about the Federal Reserve. Then over here, you've got raging Nazis. We need a group of sane fucking people. A group of sane people that are willing to fight for families. I mean, if we're not going to fucking do this, let's be fair and look at each other and say, folks, I have no interest, right? Say, hey, Biff, I don't want a New Deal anymore. I just rather chase Amschel Rothschild and all the other folks. Seriously, excuse me, waiter. Yes, garçon. I'll pass on a New Deal. I'll take the special of the day, the Rothschild special, please. Yes, and an extra side order of idiocy, if you don't mind, sir. Thank you so much. That, my friends, is what we're stuck with, unless we get serious. That's what we're stuck with unless we get serious. This is not a joke, folks. This is not a fucking joke. I don't give a shit about the Russians. I don't give a shit about the Rothschilds. I care about our troops, our people actually fucking taking on these issues and not just fucking falling asleep. Fighting, standing, uniting about truth. Instead of fucking deviating and pulling each other this way and that and fucking it up for everybody. What are you fighting for if you're fighting after the goddamn Rothschilds? What are you actually doing? I mean, seriously, what are you doing? Not a goddamn thing. Not a goddamn thing. It's just infotainment to you if you're fucking fighting about the Rothschilds. It is just bullshit. It's an entertainment fix. It's like, I got my conspiracy theory on. That's the shit that I see. And I see people, my friends, that watch these alt media folks that fan that bullshit. The people that are talking about Bitcoin, they have no idea about state currency. They have no understanding whatsoever where money comes from, and they have no idea whatsoever what gives it value. They have no idea. They don't even want to know because they like their fucking conspiracies, and the people are, it's so much easier to run around. Did he say, what's it, Bitcoin? Did he say Bitcoin? Somebody said Bitcoin? Bitcoin! I mean, it is so unbelievably revolting to me that you could know people are literally dying, but you would rather be entertained. You would rather be entertained than learn. It is ridiculous. And it's irresponsible. And it's hateful. And it's evil. And it's sick. And it's psychotic. When you know that people are dying and you would rather come up with a conspiracy theory than fucking figure it out and work to save lives, you have forsaken your usefulness. You are no longer a value to me. I need you to be gone. Skedaddle with the cattle prod. There's times when I think to myself, dear Lord, if you're above, take me the fuck out. Seriously, man. Take me the fuck out. I'm done, man. I'm good to go, man. Get me on out of here. Because I just think we got too many stupid people in the world. There's just too many people in the world that would literally rather chase these conspiracies than fight to save lives. And it breaks my fucking heart in a way that you'll never know. Breaks my heart in a way that you will never know. The weight, I'm telling you right now, I got home tonight and Melanie looked at me and she goes, my God, Steve, you look like a fucking zombie. You look like a zombie. And I said, babe, I said, I am a zombie. I said, I am so upset, so sickened by the people that are supposed to be Bernie Sanders supporters and Jill supporters that follow these conspiracies, that are so easily distracted by giant nothing. When you see people post this stuff, they are literally either give them a shot, teach them, but if they don't want to learn, I'm telling you folks, they are sidelining good people, good human beings that want to save their kids' lives. They are sidelining people. They are literally taking it out of the game. They're taking people out of the game. And they're taking their focus off saving lives. And it has me so unbelievably distraught that it literally haunts me around the clock. I told Melanie tonight, I wish to God I could go back to sleep. I wish to God I didn't know the shit. I wish I didn't learn. I wish I could run around like a fucking zombie. I don't know if you get this, but when you carry the weight of knowing this shit and you try and tell somebody, folks, we can have that New Deal. They're lying to us. It's this neoliberalism that you claim to despise is fighting us tooth and nail. They're sidelining people in our movement, taking them over here to fight for this conspiracy, bullshit around, dick around. It's like, I literally am asking myself in my heart of hearts, who is it that I am going to sit there and give speeches to? People that don't want to hear it? People that don't want to learn? People that would rather peddle their bullshit conspiracies that actually save a single life? I really do wonder, man. I'm telling you right now, these conspiracy theorists are really, really, really... They've used this line, and I get it. Hey, they call us conspiracy theorists to shut us down. That's the excuse mongering they use to claim that they're somehow or another, they're so legit, they're so woke. So fucking woke. But the reality is that they're sound asleep. They live in their fairy tale land. They want fairy tales because it gives them a cheap excuse for why they fail. Because they like the struggle. They don't want the victory. And I'm telling you, alternative media personality spends their entire existence fucking humping a goddamn conspiracy. The truth is just not sexy enough, my friends. I hate to break it to you, but the truth is just not sexy enough. And if they can't see it trending, then it's not worth their time. And that sucks. That sucks. And every time I think maybe I should quit, I realize, no, I shouldn't quit, because once you know the truth, you can't stop talking about it. You can't fucking shut it off and just go back to sleep, because life doesn't work that way. Life just doesn't work that way. So we press on. But it is extremely depressing to watch people that claim to support Bernie Sanders on this side, or people that claim to support Jill Stein on this side, that would rather sit there. Not one of these shitbirds thinks about what it actually means to end the Fed, or what it actually means to change our money system, or what it actually means to sit there and worry about debt and deficits and play games like that. None of them actually think it through. And I'm done. Just so you know, there's some people on here that I care very much about, and I'm not going to call them out by name because I don't want to draw attention to this. But I can tell you right now, there are people that would like me to be more gentle, more sweet, more kind. Let's look for ways to bridge the divide. Let's look for ways to find common ground. Let me tell you something. When common ground is based in a lie, when common ground has to be found in telling a lie, what have you really got? What do you really have? If you say, you know what, okay, it's a lie. I know there's no fractional reserve system, but to accommodate these shit fucks, I've got to go over here and pretend like there's a fractional reserve. Okay. Can't do it. Can't do it. Cannot do it. And then when they say, well, if we end the Fed, But the reality is that you've got to take all this shit, and you've got to stack it in front of a New Deal. You got to stack all their bullshit in front of a New Deal before you can get to that New Deal way over yonder, way over there. You got to get through all their bullshit before you ever get there. And when I see people flashing up the, I love you so-and-so, I love you so-and-so, oh my God, you're such a truth teller so-and-so. And they are sitting there peddling lies that get us further and further away from taking care of my children. I lose so much respect. I lose so much respect. No, there is not a fractional reserve system. It doesn't work that way. Gold standard bullshit. We haven't been even on a pseudo gold standard since 1971. The Ron Paul disease invaded the fucking progressive movement, and shaking this fucking cancer has been a motherfucker. Getting rid of this fucking cancer of a Ron Paul bullshit has been a motherfucker. And it's worse when you try and ask the people that are in the quote-unquote alternative media, why have you not reached out to interview someone like Scott Fulweiler or Stephanie Kelton, Randall Ray, or any of the other people that actually understand this? They don't even answer. They don't even respond. But when you sit there and you tell them, guys, we're not on a goddamn gold standard. We're not on a petro standard. We're not on any standard like that. We're on a fucking sovereign, free-floating fiat currency. What is so hard to understand about this? But they read it in a blog somewhere. Some other alternative media person they're a truth teller. I read it from so-and-so. Honest, it's like the truth. Every time I hear somebody talk about the deep state or something like that, we know damn well that people have been rich in this country and that people have been powerful in this country and that there's always been various networks of people that work together to do different things. But we've had a people, our sovereign people, us, you and I, we have always sat there and been sidelined. We've never been unified and we've never actually worked towards one goal. And because we've never done that, they've never had to fear us. They've never had to fear us for real. Number one, you know we can't beat the bad guys with guns because they've got Apache helicopters with Hellfire. So let's just go ahead and stop the lies, stop the madness, right? So that means we got to use our head to win this thing. And in order to win this thing, it requires the one thing that they can't take from us, and that's us, our unity. If we as a team, if we as a people, if we as a group of people sat there and united towards one goal, and that is we want a goddamn New Deal. We want Medicare for all. We want free college. We want a federal job guarantee. We want goddamn fucking green energy yesterday. We want, and we fucking focus on that, and we let all the rest of this shit go away. They could not deny us, no matter how many Rothschilds in the world there are. They could not deny us. They'd have to annihilate us, and they would never do that, ironically. They might do one or two of us in some freak accident or whatever. We might get suicided, whatever. But they wouldn't do it to massive people. But we've never seen that. Why is that? I'll tell you why. Because people get sidelined with conspiracies and we never unite for these 5 or 6 agenda items. These 5 or 6 key agenda items that we drive forward. And I tell you what, we could secure a lot of good Republicans, Greens, progressives, even some Democrats. We could have a huge coalition demanding this shit, and it wouldn't take everybody. It would just take a large amount of people. A large amount of woke people, real woke people. Woke people means that they don't sit there and peddle bullshit. That's what a woke person is. But when you try to, I've had conversations, just so you know. I mean, I'm not going to mention any names, but I've been on a lot of different people's programs, and I have talked at each one of them about modern monetary theory. I've been on Lamarl's program. I've been on Debbie the Sane Progressive's program. I've been on Tim Black's program. I have been on a bunch of these other ones. Lee Camp won't even tweet back to me, but I would be on Lee if he ever took it, but Lee won't even interview Stephanie Kelton. He goes straight over there to the Zeitgeisters and to, what's his name, friggin' Richard Wolff, who doesn't even understand money creation or debt. So we sit there and we've got misinformation going everywhere, but I have literally broken this down countless times. If anybody ever wanted to interview anybody, there's tons of access to it. There's tons of people willing to tell the truth about this stuff. And I look around and you don't see nary one of them. They admit on the call, when I'm being interviewed, they know they can't fight back because they know I'm fucking know my shit down to the fucking nth. But then, as soon as they're done interviewing me, they go back to saying whatever it is that they said. They go back to saying whatever the fuck it was that they were saying. I mean, what do you... I don't get it. What... I mean, does a conspiracy maybe get more clicks and likes? Yeah, it does, unfortunately. So I guess if you just are looking at it for the money side of it, if you want to get clicks and likes, talking about conspiracies is more beneficial for the wallet. But if you think about saving people's lives, maybe what we could do is focus more on truth, and then we'd all end up winning. Winning bigly, right? But instead, we're out there watching people peddle the shit and allow the shit to sideline an entire movement. Folks, it comes down to this, man. What do you want? What do you want? I forget what I want. I just told you what I want. I want a New Deal. And I don't care who's the president, and I don't care who the Congress is. I will force them if I have my way, if I can get people to unite and really take action. I don't care who's in there, because I don't believe we can vote our way to this right now. I believe it requires us as people uniting massively to make shit happen. Stop throwing roadblocks in front of me. Stop trying to cockblock success. Let's make shit happen. You know, I'll be honest with you, just full disclosure. I did not like Bernie Sanders that much at first. What I found, why I followed Bernie was because Bernie hired Stephanie Kelton. That's what turned me on to Bernie. Because I've been an MMTer for a long, long time. I've been an MMTer for a very, very long time. And I tell you right now, my friends, that once that light goes on, you can't turn it off. And you will never be the same again, and you will be forced to fight because this war is that serious. It's that serious. Anyway, this is my vent session tonight because I'm so fucking pissed off. Not because I'm pissed off, but because I look at my little son and I'm like, God damn it. The next generation is all sauntering about, talking about Rothschilds and shit. And you, my friend, will not see single payer, because while we're sitting there diverted over here, we could be putting pressure on these fucks and meaning it, really meaning it. Not this bullshit, well, if I write a postcard, I'm talking about really fucking meaning it. Dig deep, dig deep, dig real deep, and ask what it is that you want. Do you want to be entertained? I can dance for you. I'm not good at it, though. I'm really, really offbeat. I could sing a little bit, but if you hear me coughing, you'd probably be laughing at me choking. So karaoke's out for a bit. I mean, I could play spoons or something. I don't know. But it's really, in my opinion, more important that you ask yourself, do you just want infotainment, or do you want to focus and win? We got to start recruiting people. You got to start going out there and begging people to get engaged and not fuck around with this stupid stuff. Or it will not happen, my friends. It's not going to happen by accident. I promise you, it will not happen by accident. And the good Lord saveth those who worketh. And in this case, we got to do the fucking hard work. Because those people are sidelined. You can't count on them anymore. You cannot count on them. They are too busy chasing the Rothschilds. They are too busy chasing cock blocking. They are out of the game. It's up to us to focus and win and really organize. And you know what? I'd like to see some, that nice self-organizing, whatever. But the reality is that complex systems like economics require more than just, hey, let's go ahead and self-organize together, gang. That may feel good in smaller micro situations, but when it comes to complex systems, we require direction. You cannot just self-organize around a complex system like economics. It requires purpose, and it requires truth, and it requires conviction. And that's a tall order, I'm not going to lie. It's not as easy as posting an anonymous video or some other bullshit about the economic system's a rich man game. Anyway, I am going to let you guys get back to your life. I, right now, am going to go ahead and get a drink. I'm going to get my act together. I'm going to come back this weekend, and I'm going to do it even better. But for right now, I want to wish you guys a great night. I want to thank you for letting me vent. I'm asking you seriously, please remember, each one teach one. Each one teach one, folks. That is not just some stupid little hashtag, folks. This is serious. Each one teach one. Each one teach one. All right, my friends. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later.